Welcome back to Thrifted in Time, where a picky eater tests recipes from the past. I'm Kimberly, your resident picky eater, and today we're seeing if this one is worth keeping. Today I'm going to be cooking from this book, Look and Cook, from 1970. It is from Birmingham, Alabama, just up the street from where my family is. And today we are going to be making Coke, my favorite drink, Coke recipes. As you can see, I got my earrings, my shirt, and my big bottle ready. So this recipe is going to be cola cake. All right, let's get started. All right, to get started, you need to sift together flour and sugar and marshmallow. So you need 2 cups of flour. And 2 cups of sugar. We're gonna see if this works. Well, I guess it's not gonna work. All right, after you get that sifted, you want to get chopped marshmallows, but I got tiny marshmallows, so this will suffice for now. But you want 1.5 cups of chopped marshmallows. All right, after that, you want to stir in the marshmallows with the flour and the sugar. All right, you want to set that aside, and now we got to get a saucepan and heat up some stuff. All right, so in your saucepan, you want to take some shortening. I got the good old Crisco. And you want to take 1/2 cup of shortening. Half a cup of margarine or butter. 3 tablespoons of cocoa. And then you're going to need 1 cup of Coca-Cola. And you want to bring to a boil and heat just until the shortening and margarine are melted. All right, it has boiled. And now we're going to take this mixture, we're going to remove it from the heat and pour over the flour mixture, and we're going to stir in buttermilk, soda, which is baking soda, and the eggs. All right, now we're going to take this mixture and pour it over the flour mixture. Stir in 1/2 cup of buttermilk. Baking soda. This baking soda is going to be 1 teaspoon. And 2 beaten eggs. Now, it also says, note, you do not need to beat the mixture, so I guess you just kind of need to fold it. It doesn't really say, but it just says, stir in the buttermilk, soda, and eggs. So we're just gonna stir this up, and we're gonna put it into a greased up tube pan and put it in at 350. I already have my oven preheated to 350. And the assumption that I have of a tube pan is a bundt cake pan. So that's what I'm rolling with. And you're gonna bake this for 45 minutes. Got my greased up tube pan or a bundt cake. now it's time to stick this in the oven for 45 minutes. So I just took the cake out of the oven. It looks a little burnt, but I mean, I follow a recipe and we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes once it cools off and I add the icing to it because we have to still make the icing. So we'll see how it goes with that. All right, now it is time to make the frosting for the cake. We are going to add in a half a cup of margarine. We're going to add in 3 tablespoons of cocoa and 3 tablespoons of Coca-Cola. And for the cocoa, this is what I'm using. 1, 2, 3. All right, and we're gonna bring this to a boil. And when it's melted, we're gonna remove from the heat and add the sugar and nuts. I am not gonna add nuts to the frosting because I can't. We're gonna remove from the heat and add sugar and nuts, and then you're gonna spread onto the cake. All right, I added in the powdered sugar. It says 1 box of powdered sugar. I'm kind of just gonna go by taste. It's not bad. I'm gonna add in just a little bit more. I do not have the heat on. It is not on the heat. So, like I said, you would be adding in the sugar with nuts, but I'm not adding in nuts because I can't have the nuts in there. That's good. You're gonna spread it all over the cake. All right, so I have the cake here. It's ready, it's cooled, everything. Now I'm gonna do something, it says spread, but I think I'm gonna have a little bit of fun with this. And I'm just gonna pour it over the cake. That's why those plastic bags are there. Just to see how this is gonna turn out. Gotta have fun with it sometimes when cooking. So let's see how this turns out. She looks good. I can't wait to try this. All right, now it's time for the taste test. It's a little bit crumbly, but the recipe did say that the cake will be crumbly, so honestly, it's very good. I guess I should have added more frosting to it, but I just drizzled it just for fun. That's definitely a keeper. Coke in your recipes, I'll definitely be finding more. Really good too if you warm it up and eat it with vanilla ice cream too. Nothing loves me. All right, and the next recipe we're gonna be cooking is called chicken and Coke, of course. There's not much to this recipe. It just says place 1 cut up fryer in a pan, add 1 6-ounce Coke and 2 cups of catsup, but ketchup. Cover and cook over a medium flame until tender. Cook liquid down and use as gravy if desired. So that's all it is to this recipe. We shall see. I'm a little bit apprehensive about that one, so we're gonna see how this turns out. All right, so I'm using chicken legs for this recipe. I just figured it was a lot easier to use. All right, now we're gonna add in 6 ounces of Coca-Cola. And 2 cups of catsup, ketchup. And that's it. And it just says, cover and cook over a medium flame until tender. Cook the liquid down and use as a gravy if desired. So, we'll see how this turns out. Not bad. I say this is a keeper.